First of all, I would like to say that this guide is mainly targeted towards the payload game mode, as it is the most popular, and I also don't play any other game modes at this point. Let's get into the guide. Today, my lovely children, we are going to be talking about Medic. Specifically, the best way to play Medic. Now, some may say that crits pocketing the soldier with 3 unusuals equipped is the best way to play Medic, and they might be right, who knows? Or maybe indiscriminately healing every player on your team is the right way to go. I'm here to tell you that these people are all wrong. So what you want to do as a medic is float like a leaf in the wind. We want to adapt to different situations, healing the best class for any particular job. Imagine your team is pushing into a sentry nest. Do you want to Uber the scout that's a better player than everyone on your team? Or do you want to Uber the first person you see and hope they take it out? You do neither of those things, and you Uber the demo who's going to destroy the sentry nest in 3 stickies, because he's the man for the job. So basically, a lot of playing medic well is simply understanding what each class is good at, and making a decision as to which class is going to be the most impactful at particular stages of the game. If your team is getting pushed by enemies that are clumped up, it might be time to heal an explosive class. If your team is slowly getting overwhelmed, it might be time to start arrow pocketing the heavy that is standing his ground. If an Uber is coming in, try to give the air blasting pyro as much healing as possible before you abandon them. So basically, a good medic understands the strengths and weaknesses of the classes that they are healing. Temporarily pocket different classes in different situations, and you got this in the bag, bucko. Scouts are basically mosquitoes when played by your average Joe. You typically don't ever want to pocket these guys unless you see that they are a skilled player. I usually use them as a sentient speed boost upgrade. There are very specific places in maps where scouts excel, and you may want to upgrade their placing on the priority list. These areas are typically large open spaces where they have lots of room to dodge. Soldiers are very reliable. You can rarely go wrong with healing a soldier. There's not much to say about this one. He's good all the time, but can still be beaten in certain situations. If he's being countered by an enemy pyro, you may want to swap your heals to a hit scan class that can deal with it. If you're dealing with a soldier that likes to jump away from you, try to give him as much overhealing as possible before you two disconnect. He's also a great option for crits Ubers. If you're playing with a pyro that doesn't automatically run at the first thing he sees, then he can provide a nice safety net for you. If you're dying a lot and the deaths aren't primarily from snipers, sticking close to a pyro can be an option. They're also a menace when Ubered. Most pyro Ubers are a success, and the only bad ones you'll ever get are against pyros that are air blasting you, or against a sentry that's out of your reach. You could Uber the worst pyro player in the world, and he will get shit done. Demos dish out a ridiculous amount of damage. They're a very good heal target most of the time, however they fall short when it comes to dealing with people that are trying to rush you down. If you're dying a lot, chances are that a demo isn't going to be the one to save you. However, if you're having a free medic game, keep these guys alive as much as possible, as the span they provide is downright oppressive. Temporarily pocket them if enemies are clumped up. If you have a sentry problem, demo is almost always the number 1 Uber target. They're also great with Kritzkrieg Ubers. Heavy is a beefy boy. Keeping near a heavy almost always means you will be safe from classes that aren't spy or sniper. If a heavy is taking lots of damage, it usually means they're drawing fire from your teammates, so pumping the heavy full of heals for as long as possible typically takes the pressure off your teammates, and they can go find a health pack or a dispenser. If you and a heavy can get in a good position, you can do a lot of damage with an Uber. Kritzkrieg is also strong on heavy. Give engineers an overheal when you pass them, as they almost always have crit heals. If they are taking spam while trying to heal their sentry, giving them healing is a huge helping hand. If they aren't using the rescue ranger, they can also pose a threat with their shotgun. So if your whole team is dead and their sentry is also dead, you can consider Ubering them. You probably won't get a whole lot done, but it can drive the enemy team back enough to where your team has respawned and joined the fight. If a medic is dying, he's number one priority for healing. Don't Uber him unless he's either in danger and needs a flash, or you want to do some Ubersaw shenanigans. Also, try to separate yourself from him a bit so that the healing that you both provide can be a little more spread out. If there's nothing happening or an enemy sniper is dominating your team, overhealing snipers is a decent choice. It means he can tank a quickscope headshot or can peek a corner for a cheeky pick on an enemy. If he's on fire, you can shorten his afterburn duration by healing him for a bit. Otherwise, snipers don't typically need your help, and luckily they don't expect it either. Unless a spy is dying from afterburn in front of you, or you two are the last two people alive, there's really no reason to heal them. If you overheal them before they go invisible, the overheal will most likely fade before they decloak, so just don't worry about them that much. Well, there we go, that's that. And to finish off the video, I will be sharing 2 medic tricks that will propel you to success. The first trick is crit heals. Crit heals happen when a player hasn't taken damage for 10 seconds, and has maximum effect after 15 seconds have passed. Pubs are a bit too chaotic to track who has crit heals or not, but it should be noted that respawning players always have crit heals. This means you can fully overheal returning players, and this ends up increasing your total healing by a large margin. The second trick is perhaps the most important of all. When you are in setup time, the rate at which you gain Uber charge is 3 times faster. This means you can usually pop 2, maybe 3 Uber charges before the round has started. Doing this will grant you points before the game has even started, and will not only strengthen your team's resolve, but will ruin the enemy's mentality, ensuring that they will crumble under the weight of your massive 3-point having balls. Remember to have fun, and I will see you in the future.